Welcome back to some new petty revenge stories, where people share their small victories over those that wronged them. I hope you had a great day. The first story is called Force Them to Move. I got my very first apartment at the ripe age of 26. I was fortunate enough to be able to afford one without roommates. I was a model tenant, paid my rent on time every month, polite to the office workers, never caused trouble. I lived on the top floor of a 3-story building. Well, 2 years after I moved in, I had new neighbors move into the apartment below me. I was working a swing shift, so my hours were 3 PM to 11 PM. And I often stayed up late to 3 AM to do minor chores. Dishes, cooking and cleaning, but not vacuuming. I also had 2 cats at the time. My new neighbors immediately went on the warpath against me. I could not make any noise without them banging on my floor. I unloaded my dishwasher at 11 AM on a Sunday and they flipped out. They complained to the office about my herd of animals. They sent police to my door at 9 PM because I was watching TV at a reasonable volume with the subtitles on. I literally could not make any sound without them complaining. It culminated in one of them pounding on my door for 10 minutes after I dared call the office to express my frustration. So I called the office back. Told them that I did not feel safe in my apartment due to my neighbor's actions. Legal grounds for me to break my lease. But then I dropped my bombshell. My neighbors had 4 people in a 1-bedroom apartment that had a 2-person max capacity. Apartment management told my neighbors they had to move into a more expensive 2-bedroom apartment or their lease would be terminated. They moved to the larger apartment on the other side of the complex. My new neighbors were great. Never even spoke to them. Loved them. The next story is called Locked Me In. About a year ago, I was at a lake right north from where I live. I came back to the parking lot to find my car blocked in by someone who thought it was a genius idea to leave their car directly behind 3 parked cars. I was the middle car, so definitely couldn't get out. I waited and waited, and right before I was going to call a tow truck, a couple walked up and casually gets in the car and proceeds to drive off. I quickly backed up and circled around the other way to get to the parking lot exit first. I get to the exit and he's right behind me. I throw the car in park and just sit there. 10 seconds later he's lying on the horn. Eventually he gets out and walks up to my window and starts yelling profanities and tells me to get out of the way. There's only one exit in this parking lot and the entrance for some reason has one-way spikes to prevent people from leaving that way. No idea why, since this is just a parking lot for a lake. Anyway, I cut him off and tell him he made me wait 17 minutes and 20 seconds. I timed it, when he illegally blocked me in. And I intend to wait 17 minutes and 20 seconds to let him leave. He storms off, calls me a few names in the process and floors it in reverse. He drives down to the entrance and without noticing the spikes, I guess, drives right into them. I see his brake lights come on at the last minute and pow, both front tires are done. I then decided 17 minutes was a waste of time, since he'd clearly be there longer than that, and so I left. Made the rest of my day feel much better. The third story is called Counter Revenge. My ex-boyfriend exacted his own petty revenge by cutting down the willow tree where we first kissed. We had ducked under the branches, forming a sort of yellow-green umbrella, almost completely blocking out the rest of the world. It was an incredibly romantic moment, and I think more than anything else I am mad at how that was ruined for me by this move. I forwarded his text bragging about it right to the property manager of the 4-plex we lived in. But that is not the petty revenge, or at least not all of it. A couple of weeks later I saw him out in the garden with a bunch of tools. He had some kind of rototiller thingy that he used to get rid of the stump, a pickaxe, shovels, etc. I later learned that in lieu of being sued and or arrested, the landlord made him clear off the remains of the old tree, excavate the stump and plant a new willow tree in its place. I assume he had to pay them some money as well, but I have no way to confirm. After an entire day of grinding, picking, digging, hauling dirt, etc., he got pretty mucked up. Being the idiot he was, he decided to come up and ask if he could shower before leaving. You can guess what I said to him. And so this idiot had to put his mud and sweat covered behind into his pristine Dodge Ram something pickup. He treats it like it's made out of cotton wool and needs to be kept in plastic sleeves like a rare Pokemon card. I watched his lame attempt at putting newspapers down on the seat, only to drop 1,000 F-bombs after he noticed the newsprint rubbing off. It didn't make up for the loss of a beautiful tree or how he poisoned one of the best memories I had of our relationship, but it helped to confirm that dumping him was the right decision. The next story is called Put It in Our Heads. My friend group consists of about 10 people, give or take, a good mixture of men and women, all varying in age from 24 to 37. There's also this new girl, A, that we've been hanging out with. She hasn't been particularly kind to me, but she's friends with my friends. For example, she bartends at the place we frequent, and she won't even serve me while she serves everyone around me. She ignores me so obviously and frequently that others have even noticed and pointed it out. I never understood why she was so mean, but I didn't take it too personally. I also catch her giving me dead glares rather frequently. This witch took me aside so she could ask me questions about the guy she likes, Jay, one of my friends. From the way she was talking, I assumed she and Jay had been together for a minute. She kept saying that she knows about Jay and me, so I had to tell her that at one point one of our other friends did try to hook us up months prior. But things were so platonic that we hadn't even kissed, so we began dating other people and were content being just friends. We are great friends, he's one of my best friends. Sometime after this conversation though, she told Jay that she heard that Jay and I hooked up. We hadn't. And she caused drama surrounding our friendship that was secluded to him and her. Presumably, since I hadn't heard about it until after everything unfolded. It turns out though that she has that conversation with every pretty girl she sees talking to Jay. But Jay has been telling everyone that there's nothing going on with him and A. He's not interested. She just has a crush on him. First day though, Jay asked me if I wanted to come with him while he went to the next date over in his car. Why not? How many other chances will I have in my life to ride in a semi to pick up potatoes? I have a friend that's actually requesting my company? Cool. I brought my canvassing paints with me. At one point during the drive, I shared a Snapchat with my friend group of my canvas and Jay inside the semi. A immediately sent a chat, then deleted it. Then the girl who's known for causing a scene and happened to be working with A at the time sent a chat. What's going on? I'm gonna get mad if no one tells me. Are you with Jay right now? That sure looks like his truck. Jay sent a chat confirming that we were in the same place at the same time. Two different people told me that it was wrong of me to hang out with Jay, knowing that A has a crush on him. I told them both the same thing. A is not my friend. She has never been nice to me, and I am not obligated to tiptoe around her feelings. A sent me 4 paragraphs worth of messages. We are talking 5,000 plus characters per paragraph, telling me that she is not the reason for this drama. That she never said that she and Jay were a thing. Rumors just go around, and she doesn't care that I've slept with Jay. I hadn't. She just cares that I slept with her ex-boyfriend. Still, I hadn't. She doesn't care to be friends with me because I'm not her favorite person. She repeated that 5 times. That I can screenshot the messages and show whoever I want, because the drama was not her intent with them. And that it wasn't wrong of her to ignore me. But that I've gotta stop telling people she gives me dead glass. Jay and I did end up hooking up, but I don't know if we would have had it not been put in our heads. After all, we did spend about 24 hours bonding over the drama that A created. The last story is called Next Level Revenge. I used to live in a multi-level apartment complex in a large city that is well known for having very expensive car parking. I had 2 dedicated car parking spaces, back to back, allocated to my apartment. I used to sublease the car park space to a friend that would park his car on work days. Often on a Friday night he would taxi home after Friday night drinks and leave his car. He would then come in on Saturday or Sunday and pick it up. Often he would park me in, but this wasn't an issue as we had access to each other's cars. A new neighbor moved into the complex, and unfortunately for me, that neighbor turned out to be a real jerk. They would often see my spaces free and park me in or tell their visitors to park me in. I would often call them or go see them and ask for them to move their cars. It became such an issue that I had them on speed dial. We tried several things to stop them from parking in our spots, such as putting in bollards or parking in the front spot and moving the cars when we needed to park. But they would end up parking us in by parking illegally. My friend got frustrated and said he would stop subleasing from me, which was not a big deal as it was only an arrangement of convenience for both of us. In Australia, it is very difficult to enforce parking on private property. It is basically illegal to tow, clamp or detain a car. So building management couldn't really help, besides putting warning stickers and writing letters. I talked to a lot of the residents in the complex and they were having the same problems. I joined the strata committee, which consists of all the owners, and after 6 months got elected as the president. It wasn't hard, as only a handful of residents would actively participate. I then got the common areas, which included visitor parking to be managed by the council. We had to pay a fee, but it was worth it. When the council started to patrol the common areas, the offending cars got fined pretty heavily till they were removed. I saw at least 5 tickets, each approximately $250 on 3 of the cars. In addition, one of the cars wasn't even registered and was ticketed for abandonment and was eventually removed. This didn't resolve the private car parking issues. So I had bylaws drafted that if residents let visitors into the private car park instead of using the visitor parking, the access would be reassessed. This meant that the access fobs would be disabled until the residents confirmed and accepted the bylaws. This meant that the offending residents, which were renters, were constantly calling their landlord and complaining as we disabled the fobs every time we caught them using it to let visitors in. Of course, it took 24 hours and an administrative fee to reactivate the fobs. Eventually I got the car park upgraded and the car park key fob system removed and replaced with number plate identification instead. I've since moved out, but as I still own the property and I'm still on the strata committee, I'm still well informed. I'm happy to report that there are no more parking issues. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel for more content. Let me know what you think about the stories in the comment section below. Have a great day. Bye bye.